I'm Adrienne Harris, and today I am with
Mike Saviwe Elliott.
And what are we here to talk about for 30 minutes? Mike Saviwe Elliott.
Well, there's an ordinance in City Council right now called C.A.R.P.R. And C.A.R.P.R. is an acronym for the Civilian Police Accountability Council. The mayor has ignored it. A lot of politicians, aldermen have ignored it, even though it's calling for an all-elected Civilian Police Accountability Council, which will have the power to select the next superintendent. It will have the power to rewrite the rules of conduct of police in our community. It will have the power and ability to basically control the police and how they operate in our community. There have been over 12 hearings combined with the mayor's task force on police accountability and the city council's public hearings on police accountability. There's been a total of over 12 of those hearings. At every single one of those hearings, the people that attended those overwhelmingly supported C.A.R.P.R. People no longer trust and no longer have faith in the mayor and many people in the city council to come up with a legitimate, effective way of holding police accountable in the city of Chicago. So people want an elected Civilian Police Accountability Council that will hold the police accountable and actually create community control of the police. And so that's what we're fighting for, and that's what C.A.R.P.R. would create in the city of Chicago. It would create community control of the police.
Okay. And I actually heard in the news some ordinances that the mayor has brought up, some like C.A.R.P.R. replacements, like the Citizens Monitor, are those some of them?
We don't call it C.A.R.P.R., we call it C.A.R.P.R. So the C.A.R.P.R. ordinance, and all of the other ordinance, the Fair Cop ordinance, there's another ordinance that was written by Professor Fetterman that's being pushed by Leslie Harrison. All of those ordinances, at the end of the day, the mayor has power to appoint people, and that's what we're totally opposed to. We say no more appointments. We want an actual democratic process to take place that's transparent, that the people can have faith in, and that the people can be involved in for a change. So even with this ordinance that he's supposed to talk about on Wednesday, October 5th, even with that ordinance, there is nothing in it that calls for citizen involvement. As it was explained just yesterday or the day before to aldermen that he met with, that part involving the citizens has not been worked out yet. So we don't think it ever will be worked out because he doesn't want citizen input. He wants to continue to control and dominate himself. And without any input from the people that are being affected by these police crimes, the people in these poor Black and Latino communities who are feeling the brunt of police crimes, police violence, the mayor wants none of those folks to have any input on how the police are going to be held accountable. So he's continuing to control as much as he can when it comes to police accountability.
And it looks like we have a caller.
Good evening. When I look at whatever type of board, review board, talking about terms of police to go put up front, first of all, how they gonna be independent when they always gonna wind up getting their budget from the police department? And second of all, we look at the people that be on those boards is always like ex-police officers, ex-investigators, and they never have no civilian people at all. So how is it really going to wind up being, they throw that title out there, civilian, but it don't never be one civilian person on the board at all.
You are correct, my brother. And they also throw out the word independent, and we know that's a lie.
That's what I brought up.
Yeah.
How the heck they gonna be independent and they still gonna wind up getting their budget from the police department? That is ridiculous. We've been going for that switch and bait ever since Old Man Delhi. Take care.
Thank you for your comment. But to follow up with that, I honestly believe that one of the goals is to test the public's political militancy to really see how we're going to respond in these times when they do put forth these fake ordinances that nobody's going to vote for anyways. And why do I have so much faith? Why do I say that so boldly, like no one's going to vote for them? Because why would they when there's C.A.R.P.R?
Yeah, exactly. And the brother brought up some really good points. It was even proven by the mayor's own task force on police accountability how the so-called independent police review authority, C.A.R.P.R, how racism was one of the driving forces within that agency itself, and how they continued to cover up the people that the mayor appointed, how they continue to cover up these police crimes. As you know, the mayor appoints the head of C.A.R.P.R. He appoints the head of the police board, who is Lori Lightfoot, and he appointed in a very illegal fashion Eddie Johnson to be the police superintendent after the city council had invested over $500 million, which was $500 million, was it?
$500,000.
I'm sorry, yeah, $500,000. So $500,000 was invested in finding a police chief, and the mayor just brushed that aside and said, no, I'm just going to select whoever I want. Forget that whole process.
And then it was reported as a 38-0 vote.
Right.
When that was completely untrue, which is what they're going to try and do with COPA on October 5th if the public doesn't issue a legitimate reaction to this.
Yes, C.A.R.P.R is what we call it.
C.A.R.P.R. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of plain sight. They've been doing this for many years. It's really not. It's not about how well I feel like we take legal action at this point. It's really just about how vocalized our reaction is as a public, as a whole, as a community, as a people. That can include C.A.R.P.R. That's one thing that I'm here for, is to say that C.A.R.P.R is a really great resolution to all of these problems because it's just the one that has not received any public attention. But we have a caller. But yeah, that's my intake. I just really feel like C.A.R.P.R.
I just have to ask this question. When I look around the country, some states are having police officers that have to be licensed. Say if you get one bad cop from one area and they get fired, they can go someplace else. But when you got police officers, can you believe a hairdresser got to go for more hours in terms of training than a police officer? And I think that's ridiculous. And then what we need to do also is state go right and protect these officers. We should remove the unlimited liability they have when they do certain things. They should lose their pension and be able to be sued. Because the way things are right now, you really can't sue a police officer for doing things.
That's so true.
Everything you just said was actually true. They cosmetologists are requiring more hours of training for their job than police officers. But de-escalation training is being implemented, so that's one good thing that's coming from this year and all the deaths. But we have another caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening. How are you doing? Question or
I'm
comment?
pretty good.
Do you have a question or comment for one of us?
Yes, I do.
Hello?
We are listening.
Hello.
We're listening.
Oh, hi. This is Dr. Wilson from the South Side of Chicago.
South Side, okay.
Hi. I just had a question about the new top cop that the city just hired. What do you guys think is going to take to help him rid the problem that's really deeply rooted for generations in our police department?
Any part two to your question?
I'm sorry?
Any part two to your question?
No, just what is it going to take? I mean, the problem is deeply rooted in the city, and it goes back in generations. And I'm just not sure if one cop alone has the answers.
Well, I'll be glad to respond to that.
Come together.
I'll be glad to respond to that. First of all, the idea that one person is going to solve this problem is a fantasy. The person that you're talking about that's being appointed is actually just another person appointed by the mayor. And we don't expect anything. We don't expect that person to accomplish anything in the way of creating safety, more public safety from the police in Black and Latino communities. We're not looking for any appointments. We have no faith in anybody that the mayor has appointed. And you know, and to the previous caller who has spoke about how these police are able to retire and all this, you know, after they commit crimes against people. Even in the Laquan McDonald case, where over 8 officers had actually signed off on giving false replies on their police reports, backing up Officer Jason Van Dyke after he brutally murdered Laquan McDonald in the street. Well, they signed off on it. So now we're finding that 3 or 4 of those officers have submitted their papers for retirement. Now they'll be able to retire and we can't charge them. They won't lose their pensions. So, you know, there's a lot of laws that have been set up over the years that the city has given up to the FOP so that their officers could be protected and can retire without their pensions being threatened. And so, you know, it's a long range, like you said, it's so much that there's no way that one person can actually accomplish holding these people accountable or bringing justice to people in the community that have been abused by the police. So we have no faith in anybody that's appointed by the mayor.
I have faith that he will uphold the image. The image. Not the actual character change that, you know, will bring about the real change in the communities, but the image that is put out there that will be returned to the mayor in like mass amounts is that he's been helping his community because he's been here for almost 40 years, 36 years, and this is just where he's come from, and this is exactly what he's doing to help. That's what is going to be passed off.
He's been helping his community. That's true.
So we have another caller.
Good evening. We have a case right now. If I'm lying, stop me dead in my tracks, okay? If I don't have the facts straight. There's a case where a police officer got 10 years of service under his belt, and he been been under review, and he's sitting in a police station for 10 years. 10 years since they been on modified duty. By the time they get around to him, he be able to qualify for retiring. These are the things I'm talking about, how police officers are protected. Only one thing gonna stop these rogue police officers when you able to sue them, take their pensions away, and they wind up losing their house, because what stopped a lot of the problem they had in New York City, now stop me if I'm lying, okay? When they said stop and frisk was unconstitutional, Now, when a police officer go out there and they frisk somebody, they found they ain't had nothing, guess what? They butt was in the sleeve because that person was able to sue them for harassment. Now, if I'm lying about anything, stop me dead in my tracks.
I'm so glad we got callers that come in and spit straight truth.
No, I don't see. I didn't recognize you lying about anything. I'm in total agreement with you, and it's happening over and over again. And
it's repetitive.
And the FOP plays a huge role in this. The FOP is the ones that negotiate that contract with the city, and the city always gives them concessions rather than fighting for increased wages and things. The FOP always fights for more protection for their officers.
So how do you believe that the community will work around them fighting for more protection? It's just a quick question. I just heard you say it. Throw it in.
Yeah, so it's going to be all about our input in negotiating the FOP contracts. And C.A.R.P.R, the Civilian Police Accountability Council ordinance, will allow citizens to be involved with negotiating the FOP's contract. And so, there's things in the FOP contract that allows police officers to have a certain amount of alcohol in their blood system. It just goes on and on what the police have negotiated with the city to protect police officers. And so the FOP contract plays a huge role in this, and we can't sleep on that. And their contract comes up again next year, by the way.
Which is why we're trying to prolong this vote for October 5th through the demonstration this Thursday, which will be held 8:30 a.m. at City Hall, downtown. Right?
Yeah, so on Thursday,
29th.
September 29th, 8:30 a.m. at City Hall, which I believe is 121 North LaSalle Street. We're going to have a protest and a press conference, and we're going to have some aldermen participating in it. That we have so far 9 aldermen that have backed C.A.R.P.R in the city council. So we're going to have them. We're going to have the Reverend Moss from Trinity Church, members from SEIU, healthcare workers, and various community groups and activists will be there. And also, most importantly, victims of police crimes will be there. And we're gonna talk about the current situation with our ordinance that has been a major concerted effort to try to avoid having C.A.R.P.R passed through City Council. Right now it's being held in the Public Safety Committee and the Government and Budget Committee. So at 8:30 at night, we're going to gather at 8:30, press conference at 9 o'clock, followed by a protest rally and demonstration on the second floor of City Hall. And I have to add that the following Monday is when the committees that are holding C.A.R.P.R, the Public Safety and the Budget and Government Committee, they'll be having a hearing themselves. And in that hearing, they're going to try to discuss the mayor's ordinance. But we're going to insist on them talking about the C.A.R.P.R ordinance, which is the one that has been supported by more people in the city of Chicago than any of the other ordinances.
40,000.
It's 40,000 people so far that have actually signed to support it. But we get overwhelming responses in the community.
And we have a caller.
Caller?
I'm going to tell you how you better get what you want. And you might say I'm a radical. And that's what some folks would look at.
We like
you
radicals.
tired of certain things, is the black folks and the Spanish folks just for one day, just one day, don't buy a damn thing down there in the city loop. Don't buy nothing. And I guarantee you have all those folks like from Walgreens and from Marshalls and
no lunch break, no nothing. I hate you.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, you got to do something about it. When you hit people in the pocketbook, guess what? You get their attention. And I said, you can have the answer right in your hand in terms of your money. When you start spending that money, guess what? They'll listen to what you want.
She has been right this whole show. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I believe that should also be included.
Well,
in the fight for C.A.R.P.R.
Yes, that's an old tried and proven tactic. Mm-hmm. I mean, Martin Luther King and the various boycotts showed the effect of holding back our money. And yes, I totally agree with you. That definitely ought to be part of this struggle that we're having now. And many people in the Black Lives Matter movement understand that. And so when they when they did the last Black Friday, they cost the city some billions of dollars.
When they cost them millions every day.
Yes, when they blocked off Michigan Avenue, the day after Thanksgiving, that Black Friday, it had a major impact on the economics of the stores downtown.
Better turnout this year.
And this year is going to be even bigger. Mark Black Friday on your calendar. But also
American Friday.
On October 5th is when the mayor is supposed to introduce his ordinance to City Council, and they're supposed to vote on it. So
now we don't need them to vote on the 5th. It's a bit early. It's early. They're rushing it like they did with Eddie Johnson. It'll come out the same. We'll waste money and not get who we want, and that's not what we're paying for.
And that's why we're going to be there on the 5th
and on the 29th to demonstrate. Yes.
Yes, we're gonna flood the hallways on the 5th of October. We're gonna attend the committee hearing on October 3rd, Monday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. And on the 29th of September, we're gonna occupy the second floor of City Hall and have a press conference and also a protest demonstration on that day.
Now, last time we took up all 3 floors, I say let's get to the roof. Mm-hmm. But that's just me dreaming big. So, yeah, Mike.
Yes, so, this is a very, very important struggle. It's actually a life and death struggle. And if we can't get these police under control and held accountable, it's costing people's lives.
It's not going to do nothing but escalate, no matter how much de-escalation training they implement.
And so I don't trust their de-escalation training, by the way.
It's ran by a black man. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, please.
You see how many close-ups
Eddie Johnson is a black man. Is a black man who said that he's been on the police force for 27 years, and in his 27 years, he's never seen one incident of police misconduct. So, color doesn't matter here. It is a culture that we're dealing with.
The culture.
It's just like someone brought up how we're gonna affect these rogue cops. It's not rogue cops. It's a rogue police culture, and nobody can speak up against it. So all the people that we call, that not me, but all the people that some of you call good cops, they don't report the crimes that their partners commit. They don't report when they see one of their partners kill somebody, brutalize somebody, cause harm to people in the community. They don't report that, and they're supposed to be good cops. So, in my opinion, there are no good cops. A good cop would report their partners for committing crimes against the residents of the city of Chicago. That's what a good cop will do. How many good cops have we heard do that? I hear crickets. We don't hear any of that. So if you're a good cop, that's what you should do. You should be responsible enough to the people that you're supposed to be serving to actually try to protect them. We don't hear any of that from any of these cops. So until I begin to hear that, I just have to believe that there's no good cops.
Yeah,
because they're all silent.
And just for me to add on to that, so there's no real like duality here. You know how some people will say, okay, there's a reason why there are no good cops because Chicago is so bad. Well, it didn't take them so long to deem our youth, to deem like our black citizens, African American citizens as bad, as negative as the criminals here, but it's taken them 4 years to prove something with our police department. Like, we have Farden there from our U.S. attorney. He's been looking into the police department for over 4 years, wasting like valuable money to control all these investigations when it's just there's really no second side here. Like he's saying, like there are really no good cops. It's the whole character, which is the Chicago Police Department. It's been this way for generations. It's been like the mob city for generations. So.
Well, before this program ends, I just want to say that this ordinance, this Civilian Police Accountability Council ordinance, is sponsored by the Chicago Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression, of which I'm the chair of the Labor Committee, and we've been fighting to have this ordinance passed through City Council for the last 4 years.
As long as they've been investigating it. And we have another caller. Last caller.
Wrap up.
No caller? All right. So, in conclusion, hoping to see some of our viewers there, hoping that you all are going to pass the word along and are thinking of ways to involve yourself in the movement of how we can get our city back.
Yeah, so I see.
I don't want to go up into this.
We want to see you on September 29th. At 9 a.m. at City Hall, second floor, on October 3rd, Monday, in the council chambers at 10 o'clock, and on October 3rd, Wednesday, when the mayor is supposed to announce his new plan to hold the people accountable and not the police. No more appointments. C.A.R.P.R now. It's the only answer.
It has to be, because we actually have to push this back for January. Sorry. If they say 38-0 vote, I'm blaming all the viewers who were watching and didn't do nothing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We all involved in this. It's a family thing now.
That's right.
All love. Thank you for watching. Yep. High five.
Peace.